younger people?
The youngest I've actually seen out on the streets is around 15,
Whoa.
and uh, the reason why is usually caused of just way society's coming together. You know, some of these kids I've heard ran away just because of abusive problems, and you know, we're not all out here just because we don't have jobs. There's other reasons why we're out here. You know, you can't just blame it all on the job and not doing anything with life. I've seen these homeless people bring in money for them, you know, for themselves and what we need. And basically, I can see how they can live a life like that because, I mean, I've been living that life since 16. I've been homeless since I was 16 from Texas, and I left Texas because the resources were none compared to what I've heard in Oregon.
Wow.
Came to Oregon, and some of the laws, I mean, they're really great, but some of the laws that actually follow behind that are really ridiculous. Because I mean, a cop was sitting there telling me the last time I had only a covers over my arms, and they were like giving me a warning next time it would be I think he said like a $400 or $200 ticket
Wow.
if they catch me again with my bags even over any parts of your body part. I mean, you can't even have them over your feet. You can't even have a tarp over you, especially when it's raining. I mean, and you're sitting there trying to sit down and stay out of the rain. They'll tell you move to a bridge or anything like that. I mean, some of these people are actually out walking and having to stop. Cop rolls by and they're like, "Hey, y'all can't have that tarp." Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and I mean, I would wish for a better way for us, the homeless people, to actually sleep a lot better and have a much better way of living than having to actually sleep on hard ground.
How would you like to live? Like, I mean, just
How would
say you could
how would I would
potentially
like to
have
live?
money or not have money or
I would personally say I would not like to have money.
okay.
I would like everything should, like, in my point of view, in the world, it should run off donations. You know, because with donations, they can go to greater cause. Our money can be spent lot more wisely to what we are working towards. And
So if you were to have everything run on donations, are you talking about within the group where we donate to each other, or everybody just come and every other people donate to them?
what if the idea of what I hopefully it works out? I wanted it to try it as in within a group, and then gradually working with that progress and actually expand it out more and more to see if it would actually work with the program. So if everything would pretty much would be running off of donations, those donations could be going to charities more, like some Sisters of the Road is a good example. I mean, they run off of donations, and how long has their business been here? It's been here for quite a while,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and there is not a problem with what they're doing. I mean, they're doing for what they believe in, and if donations can be run off of what a person believes in like that, then the system could work, you know.
Okay. Did you
And
know we're going to do that here? I mean, we had
really,
it at the camp, but we're
wow,
going to do it here.
really,
Yeah, we're about to have some facility for taking in food and distributing food, including food that Occupy Portland gardeners are growing,
right on.
and clothing,
Hmm.
uh, and art supplies, and making art here,
Right on.
as well as political information. So,
That would be a good system right there. And if a system like I've seen like one tent ground around here, tent camping ground, they have it a little bit better than what we're having. And if a world could be like, if we could possibly get out there and actually have more of these spots out for people, we would have a greater increase of keeping more people off the streets, having to live out around different areas, and actually having to cope and have a good spot to stay.
Our friend JJ can hook you up with Right to Dream if you want to go there.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah, next week.
Nice.
next week. Camp.
Something so explain to you. It's not a full open campground, but I'll explain to you sometime if you want.
Yeah.
And would you like to talk more about the tarp thing?
Tarp.
What specifically?
What specifically would you like to talk about more
Right,
about?
but I just noticed
Oh.
that when you're talking about tarp, then we kind of change subject to
Yeah.
muddy.
The
So
tarp. The tarp. About how we walk about the law and that it cops will mess with you about it, and like I was saying before, it it's a really bullcrap law, because the tarps are basically our main way of actually keeping dry, keeping making a bedding for ourselves. But still, like, if we the way we try to comfort ourselves even more, the law actually breaks down on us harder.
hmm
And that right there is how I pretty much explain it all. I mean, the harder we try to comfort ourselves, they fight back and weaken us.
What what do you have for gear?
Me right now, all I have right now is 2 sleeping bags, which are put together for me and my girlfriend, and a couple backpacks. That's it. Backpack and a bag.
Do you
Just
have a
carrying around.
mat or tarps?
Mm-mm.
Okay, then
It was actually because of that what the cops have told us about having them on us, or having them cover us, or having them like used period, like what we used to cover us and all that, And I pretty much take all the gear away that they try to use against us, that we try to use for our own selves.
Can I ask a question, please?
Yeah.
Tarp. Basically, your stuff gets wet. It's gonna cut. It's gonna weigh an extra weight that you have to carry
Yeah.
around. Your clothes, your sleeping bags, whatever gets wet, and you're under deciding which is which. Some of that shit is actually either thrown away or left behind or whatever, because it's like you carry around this soaking wet
Yeah,
crap that
and
you can't even use. And now
exactly,
we're wasting,
that's
now we're
another
wasting
thing.
money, and now we have to go back to the resources and get more
We
clothes
we
and more
lose
sleeping bags.
resources due to what we can't have. You know,
And something simple like a tarp can really
yeah,
save a lot.
a simple tarp, any size tarp,
And it can
enough
fold
to
up
cover
very
up your
small
back,
into
enough
your
to
bag.
cover up your back enough.
Yeah.
Is good enough for anything. A lot of these resources around here we can't even use because the law fights back on them. And a lot of these resources that we could use will actually help us in the long run, and keeping our stuff dry, and something to wear the next day, and keeping like the main stuff of your main priority of stuff dry and not ruined.
So a simple tarp can save resources.
Yeah.
And it folds up very small and can fit in your
Yeah.
back very easily. And it's a plus thing. And they're telling you.
Did you
that's
know that
one
we
thing
check those
involved.
out here? That we check them out and check them back in every
Really?
night? Yep, we're trying to get some more. Right now, we're still working on storage, and we're doing pretty well. But
That's what I'm looking for, is a place to store bags during the day.
I don't have that. But what we do have
Mhm.
is now TPI has
Okay, I
lockers.
can tell you about
Yeah,
that.
TPI has lockers. I've been by
Yeah,
TPI.
you know about that
Okay.
already. Yeah.
Yeah, I ended up going by there, and they hooked me up with some new clothes, because there was a place back in Eugene I was staying at, and our stuff, a lot of our gear had gotten lost. I mean, gear that would be like a life changing.
So maybe some people don't know much about TPI. So can you say a little access how to access it?
TPI is really, it's like a shelter, basically. It's also a feed. They also do clothes donations, and will help out with what you need, what necessities, and also give you more information on other places around here that will possibly help you out. And they gave me this little book. It's called what is it? It's like a little red pamphlet book.
Hmm?
The street book.
Rose City Resource Guide.
Yeah, Road City Resource Guide
Right.
book. Um,
That's streetroots.org,
streetroots, streetroots.org, right? And
I think.
th- I mean, a city that's trying to help out a lot with us should also go furthermore and actually break this camping law. You know?
Great. Then I see there's a like a ghost.
Mhm.
Here's like I'm the person who enforce
Mhm.
these. Oh, somebody's showing up. Is that you gotta do something? No, maybe not.
Okay.
So um, like I need to enforce this law, and I'm selectively enforcing, but I need to something like say no to tarp kind of person, maybe police, I don't know,
Okay.
Mhm.
somebody.
Okay.
So is that, would you like to say anything to this figure?
Um, about the tarp and the police and all that.
Right.
I would say, please leave. I would be grateful if this law was released and like able to have the tarps, because the tarps are actually a main key to our pretty much
Mm.
survival. It's not only just something we could sleep on and cover out in the rain, but it's also a good resource to carrying items and also making a survival tent. I mean, there's some places around here that people get really stranded out in, and whatever resources they make them out of, like the tarp, they get in trouble for it because the
So,
cops.
have you ever been in like a campground, like under a bridge, when the police have decided to sweep it?
Yeah, there was actually the northeast bridge down there, down by the highway where train tracks are at, and they start dividing by BG building or something like that. There's like a building down there. There was a campsite down there that me and my friends were at, and cops rolled through there. There was absolutely all of our stuff was stranded all over the place.
Whoa.
What do you mean? Did they take it and dump
Well,
it, or
yeah, like the cops, we rolled out. We Our friends came back with information saying, "Hey, cops were just up there sweeping the place."
Mm.
We went back later on that night, and all of our stuff was stranded all over the place. Our tarp was out in the field. Our clothes bags had been ripped open.
Wow.
Stuff was stranded all over the place.
Great.
So,
Can you say date and time? Approximate?
uh, round, it was around like possibly around like 8 or 9 in the morning, noon
Uh,
time.
like today is June 22nd.
This was June. Let's see, came here Friday, Saturday. Happened 2 days ago.
2 days
2 days
ago.
ago?
Two
Okay.
days
Like
ago,
today is
and it
Friday 1
happened.
a.m. now, so.
It has happened 3 times since then.
3 times since
Oh,
then.
Yes, three
okay.
Where?
times since
There?
then. Yeah,
The place,
there.
can you identify a place?
Can
Yeah.
I ask you a question?
It's like a northeast
Can I ask you a
street
question?
bridge.
You have a
Steel
bridge here,
Bridge.
goes across. Is the Burnside Bridge? You know
Steel
Burnside?
Bridge?
Yeah,
And is the next one
it's
over?
that bridge. You go down
Right
by the
past the
feeding
Burnside?
park down, and you go across the water. And it's like the bridge that has the trolleys going to top and all that,
And it
and
has a
people walk.
walkway that goes right by the water.
Yeah, and it
Steel
goes all the
Bridge.
way around, and there's the railroad tracks right off over there.
Steel Bridge.
Wow,
Yeah.
is that possible to
No, that's
identify
awkward.
any police name tag or anything?
No, at this time I have no idea if it was them or if it
He
wasn't them,
came
but
to find his stuff.
yeah, I
Gotcha.
came as soon as I heard cops said we're sweeping the place, because where we stay at between there's like two concrete spots that help support the bridge. We stay between them and another in a padded out area, and our stuff stays right up in the corner of the bridge.
Mm.
And there's been like several stuff gone missing from there, and when the cops had came up there to sweep the place, they went up all up in the top area, and that's where all of our stuff was at. friend called me, got a hold of me. I left immediately. We headed over there and to find all of our stuff to be scattered everywhere. So I wasn't able to identify anybody, but I do not know if it was the cops or not. All I know is the stuff happened after they left,
Okay.
so
Okay.
it could have been them. It
Did you
could have
lose
not been.
anything or did you recover?
Um, I lost. Our friends actually got a bunch of their stuff taken.
Okay.
None of our stuff was messed with. Because I packed my valuables and I put them in my backpack and carried them with me all day.
Good.
So that's their stuff. What they got stolen from them was their tarp and blankets.
Gotcha.
Uh,
So now, TARP. I think let's frame this way. What we are doing, like providing very short time, very useful information sharing. I feel like we are becoming the TARP. Just yeah,
Feel like we're becoming the tarp.
yeah, something very simple, easy, and protecting a lot of things very easily.
oh, down here.
No, what we are doing right here, right now.
I see.
Yeah.
Just yeah, just wanna
Pretty much wrapping it up, pretty much wrapping down the courthouse. I mean, heck, what are they? I mean, if one of these days, I hope I catch one of them having the tarp on. You
Yeah.
know, so I can be the people and actually tell them, hey,
God.
you're breaking the law, and you're not getting anything done with you, and we're breaking the law just for a living reason, and you're breaking down on us, but yet nothing is happening to you. So
Well, do you, I want to tell you a little bit about here for this resource.
Oh,
We have some, can I? All right. We have some community norms, and
Yeah.
it helps keep us safe. Plus, we're a protest that we are asking the public to care about this issue, so we have to be presentable and professional. I know that it was kind of a party atmosphere tonight, and sometimes it happens, but it doesn't last all night long,
Yeah.
and it doesn't happen
it's
during
a
the day.
respectable party. It's a respectable
Right.
party.
It
It's
was
not
happy.
too loud. It wasn't too.
Yeah, it was very happy.
Yeah,
Some
it's
good
pretty
music.
much a happy party. I mean, there wasn't no drinking or nothing going on. There wasn't people yelling out in the streets like the Daily American usually does. I'm sorry to say, but
Down
the
by my
Daily
house,
American
nearby.
does.
Right.
Down there, they usually
My
it's
Burnside,
younger,
yeah.
younger kids these days with their all these stuff, but
So it was a good time, and then
Yeah.
now people are asleep.
yeah, people
so
are now actually settling
so
down.
here's
and
what
getting
we
ready to
ask.
go to bed.
We ask everyone to, if they check something out, to put it back in the morning. Um, Take care of it. If it needs to be washed, let someone know. And if you have points at TPI, take care of it yourself and bring it back. That would be great. Um, we are very wary of newcomers, but that's not because we don't trust people generally. It's because we're protective of one another. And
Yes,
after you stay there,
that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Since I've gotten in Portland, I've actually been seeking that,
okay.
and also the protest that is being taken place is another thing I'm also willing to fight for, because that's something that every person, like every homeless person, shouldn't have and are able to do. You know, some days in the mornings when we have to wake up at 6:30 in the mornings to kick out and roll out in the streets. What if I wanted to go down and lay at the park and watch the sunrise come up and have a tarp over me or a blanket?
Well,
What
right
if-
here, you can't sleep here and not be awakened.
Yeah.
But if you're off to the side, they won't wake you up.
Yeah.
So right here is a loading zone, and at 7 a.m. they wake people up.
I see.
But if you're down to the side, they won't.
Yeah. That's another thing. Down at the parks, I mean, there's no one usually rolling through there at night. You know, there's like hardly any people, and also us not being able to lay out in the lawns or near down there, where we're not in this downtown royal areas. We're not disturbing anybody, and plus down there, why can't we just have a tarp anyways? Because it's for Blacksville. I mean, a tarp can be for an any day thing, you know, and the camping law brings it down, you know. They're pretty much trying to pull the tarp down on us so we can't get out.
Well, I'm glad you're with us. Say your name again, would you?
Dylan.
Dylan. I'm glad you're here, Dylan, because we need more activists, and we're standing up for ourselves,
Yeah.
and you're not alone. You're not, this isn't all people who have no homes. These
Mhm.
are people who have had homes and don't have homes, people who do but didn't used to,
Mhm.
people who have always had a home,
Mhm.
and people who never have. I mean, we're
Yeah.
all together in solidarity because the belief is you should not be vulnerable
Yes.
without all the community around.
And
So we're here.
that's another thing. Like the word vulnerable, tarp could actually be a safe resourcing so you're not as vulnerable to the outer side public. Maybe you want your personal space. Maybe you want your stuff like personal items not to be seen. What about that? I mean, you can. There's so many things tarps can be used for, and the law of camping, the camping law, states that we can't have it. So that's another thing. You, most people, I used to feel very, very vulnerable uh, whenever I first started out living on the streets, and me setting up a tarp and laying underneath it, just looking out, comforts me. It can comfort a lot of people. It can be used for so many resources. Your blankets, and also on cold days, who wouldn't want to be wrapped up in a blanket, you know?
Yeah.
And most of us out here, we don't have like the natural clothing to actually keep us warm during those times, and we get in trouble trying to build warmth around us by using blankets and tarps. And
Well,
this is.
I don't have any more tonight,
Mm-hmm.
and but we're getting more.
Yeah.
We have a fund now with Occupy Portland's building.
Right.
And in fact, folks, if you guys want to contribute, that donation is on the occupyportland.org front page. It says Vigil. So if you contribute on the front page of occupyportland.org to this vigil, we've got we have enough funding right now to put toward the cart occupation, which is the expansion that I've been telling about, because it's going to make us more safe and more professional and get more community support and media attention. But it will also allow us to store items and to have food and clothing and a bunch of things that we provide for one another. Um, and here's something else that's interesting. When you take a donation station for food, clothes, and miscellaneous, some some very generous people are very, very poor or homeless. And one example I had was, what if your sister works in a dog biscuit factory? You may have not a dime in your pocket and no home whatsoever, but you have 500 dog biscuits if you ask her, and those donations come. So let's say we're all out here together and we have people who have no homes, who have no money, but are giving to people who come by, who know that anybody can have whatever they need. Then we're equals. We're rich giving to poor, poor giving to rich. We're all equal. And
Yeah.
we're going to be doing that right here every single day.
Every
And we're going
single
to
day.
have these conversations so that people realize it's not about class, it's not about money, it's about community.
It's about, and that's another thing I would like to get into. The poor may be poor, but yet we still give, you know. And the rich, some of the rich may give, but they're stingy. And in the Bible, it's all right if I bring Christianity into this, right? All
Absolutely.
right,
This
good,
is a freedom
good.
of speech.
In the Bible, there was a verse saying down about how if the poor begs, it's about the poor begging, but the rich not giving, and that the poor pretty much all God's children. Everyone's God's children, and everyone should be able to give and receive and receive and give. And if a poor person can give, why can't a rich person? Is also another question. And that's the state I'm in. I even if I have a pack of smokes, and an upperclassman person asks me, I still give to him.
Do you have
I
that happen? Do you have somebody in a suit ask you for a cigarette?
Yes, I've had several actually around Pioneer Square.
That's cool.
Yeah. Um, can you do, I like to try a little weird thing, and I noticed the battery is a little lower, and also you're waiting, you wanna express also, I guess?
Oh, go
Okay.
ahead.
So,
Daryl, why don't you
okay.
talk to him and I'm gonna.
Okay, so what I'm try is that somebody saying I need to enforce or I need to take your top out.
Yeah.
So can you represent that figure or
Like how what with the
like
day
for
I got
example,
caught?
I can
Or,
what if I use my imagination,
hmm
I would say this way. I'm afraid, if you covered by tarp,
hmm
I'm afraid that someday we'll find a dead body under
tarp.
the tarp. So that's why I like to remove.
hmm
So like something like that.
Something like that.
Hmm.
Well, I don't know. There's a
Yes,
lot.
let's
It's
use your
like
imagination, the
imagination.
fantasies. Yes,
So just pretty much.
the reason somebody want to
Yeah.
take your top out.
Really, I don't even see a reason why someone would try to hide. Like, we're Portland's so laid back here. I mean, I don't see a reason why they should be taking a tarp away. There's nothing really to hide but comfort. Yeah, I mean,
Maybe somebody saying, I do not want to you be comfortable in street.
well, if someone doesn't want to be comfortable, then that's their opinion. I mean, if it's law enforcing that, then that's actually pretty much what I consider as like abuse.
Whoa.
Like not like abuse, but kind of like disrespect to a lower grade person that has no like job or so abilities, but are still able to do everyday things.
Okay.
So the tarp thing, uh, there's like several things about it. Like one, there wouldn't be like they wouldn't even like I don't even know what to say really is about the tarp. But all I can say is that it's a really good understanding that this law should be uplifted.
Mm-hmm.
It would be so much easier on us. Everybody would be fine. It wouldn't cause chaos. It wouldn't cause pandemonium, and it actually relieve the stress off of some of these people that live stressful days every day.
But then maybe I'm if I use my imagination, I'm afraid that
Mhm.
we had already occupied camp at park,
Mhm.
and I'm imagining if I allow you to start using tarp, then this these
Is
occupied camps start again.
mhm.
That I'm afraid, something like that.
Something like that. Well, like role play style or what?
Oh wow, you know role play? Would you like to
Little
do it?
little bit, not very much.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
But yeah, like start out. Just
Yeah, there's developing dialogue in these two
yeah.
figures.
Um, let's see. What's a good one? What's a good one that we could use? Um, say I was walking down, going by a tarp that's already set up by a tent,
Hmm.
and come by, check it out, say hello, and tell a person, hey, how are you doing?
Good, good. How about you?
How's your house? How's your tent? Everything feeling for you today, sir?
It's working okay for me.
You keeping dry?
Yes, yes.
Keeping dry?
Mhm,
Good. Got good enough shade?
mhm.
That's good.
But
How's your day going because of this? How are you feeling to have able to
Oh,
keep the strain off of you?
yeah. Thank you. I'm now waking up. I have lots of privileges. Just keeping my body dry, and I can work well. I can make money well. So I forgot I have lots of these privileges and powers, and
Yeah.
right now I'm waking up. You don't. Thanks for waking me up.
No problem. No
Great,
problem. How's
cool.
That's good. All right. So, carry on your day.
Oh, okay. And um, okay, done
That
for
was
the
good.
tarp. But let's like still, I'm curious about the tarp thing.
Oh, the tarp. Okay,
Yeah,
like explain a little bit more, like about the tarp.
tarp um like yeah, like I don't know. In this side, I sometimes enforce some people, and sometimes I don't.
Mm.
But I'm kind of targeting you guys. Like I do want to enforce about this tarp thing. I'm not equal. I'm not
Oh,
equally practicing, but you're the target.
target. All
Yeah.
right. So, say the cop approaches me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like kind of like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
How the situation would go probably with me.
Mm-hmm.
My situation would be like, I'm sorry, officer, I didn't know. I would pack up immediately. Get out of your hair, and then last time I had this happen down at the park, the cop had approached us, and they were confronting my friend, but as my arms were still wrapped up and I still had some covering me, they were sitting there just watching me and not doing anything about me. They That's another thing. They were targeting one person out of the group instead of the whole group that was laying down the same. Like we were all there as a group together and had the same like tarps. Like we had wrapped our tarps and sleeping bags around us to keep warm because it was around like 6:30 in the morning. We just got done eating breakfast. Kind of wanted to chill out by the ocean side, and we get interrupted, of a peaceful day. I mean, I don't see any harm how we were causing by. I mean, I was even leaning up a tree just with a tarp around me, and just asleep. And cop rolls up, starts talking to my friend. They drag him off the side while the other cop's sitting there watching at me, and they sat there and actually waited until I woke up to actually start doing anything, and then they were telling me that we couldn't camp there, we can't have all of our stuff all laid out, can't have the tarp out. We had to put that up, and pretty much told us that they gave us a warning, and next time it would be like a big fine.
Okay, gotcha. So is that possible to play this side and I play your side? How
All
about that?
right.
So I want to use tarp. Tarp is essential.
No,
So
you can't.
why?
It's a law. You can't have it as
But I
only.
noticed you enforce sometimes this person or that person is not equal. So why, we have a reason, we're protesting. Why I can't use tarp?
Because it's a law. It's a law, and I
But
know.
but you're not enforcing all law here at the Portland City Hall, at front of them.
Those are just little kids, man. Those are just little
No, no,
kids.
you follow the mayor's office supporting. There's a cause, right? And then you seems to be being nice. So I want to you become a little more nice about TARP at front of City Hall because we have reason.
I'm sorry, man, but I gotta go by the law. As said, um, I cut people a little slack here day and day, but can't cut everybody slack.
Oh.
But
Is there anything I can do? Like I noticed some law enforced, but sometimes don't. So because of a mayor's office or something, is there any way you work with this? Like what kind of thing need to be happen when you want to change your behavior?
um, uh, I would insist you not to be covered up with the tarp. I would insist you just either have a mat laying down or anything like that. Can't have anything covering the body over the head
Right.
or on the bottom.
Um, Thanks for explaining the detail. But you're doing this because your boss is saying, or what's the reason you have to do this way?
I'm just doing it because it's just me.
Oh, just you? I thought you're doing like a peacekeep officer role or some protecting people, as I thought. But
We actually had to take out protect and serve.
oh, sorry, I'm a bit confused. But oh wow, looks like good. Somebody's laugh.